And we begin tonight at 6 at the Indiana State House, where lawmakers have now revealed a new budget deal that includes major changes to Indiana's tobacco tax.
Lawmakers are trying to make up a more than $2 billion shortfall that's expected in the revenue for the budget. So where's that money going to come from? They think they might have come up with an answer. Emily Longnecker's at the State House tonight, less than 2 hours after this announcement today. So Emily, please tell us, where do things stand right now?
Well, they've come up with part of the answer anyway right now. And, you know, lawmakers said going into coming up with this final budget proposal that they were going to have some tough choices to make. We didn't know what cuts they were going to make or if they were going to come up with ideas to raise revenue after they learned of that $2 billion revenue shortfall. And today, Governor Braun and Republican leadership announced a final budget that involves some cuts to higher education and public health, along with raising the tax on cigarette and some tobacco products. One thing that's not being cut, K-12 education. Its funding will go up 2% each year with an expansion of universal vouchers in year 2. That was a top priority for Governor Braun and House Republicans, and it's made its way into the final version of the budget. Higher education funding will be cut by 5%. The money for maintenance of higher education buildings will see the same cut. Public health will have significantly less money in this budget, going from $100 million a year down to $40 million. To raise revenue to cover the shortfall, lawmakers are raising the tax on a pack of cigarettes to $2, and taxes are also going up on other tobacco products. One tax the budget doesn't touch, the income tax. It will still continue to go down by 2027. Governor Braun and Republican leadership said the budget funds priorities while staying within the state's means, admitting even with the cuts, the state still comes up short.
Trying to come up with a way to fund a budget with a $2 billion shortfall in the fiscal forecast was, frankly, one of the more challenging things that I think we've ever done. It obviously creates some pretty difficult hills to climb, but, you know, Indiana fiscally is in a fantastic place and able to rebound from a challenge like this, and we are grateful for that.
And Democrats said that they still need to digest what was presented here this afternoon because they were not consulted on this budget proposal. Take a listen.
We've got to weigh just how public education and the needs of our children are being met. We have to weigh if Medicaid needs and those, the children that are in need, and the elderly, the working Hoosiers, everyday people, if those are being met. I did hear the word within their press conference of collaboration.
And Democrats are still hoping for some of that collaboration on this budget proposal in the final days of session. One thing Governor Braun and Republican leadership were both adamant about, even if we should see some tougher economic times, lawmakers will not be going into a special session to figure anything out with this budget. Ann, Scott?
And we know you'll continue to cover it for us. Emily Longenecker reporting live. Thanks so much. Also at the State House, a bill on human sexuality is now headed to the governor's desk.
This comes just one day after the bill received serious pushback for removing a line about requiring consent to be taught in schools. Now, lawmakers added that language back into the final bill today. This means that schools would then be required to teach about consent when teaching sex ed in the classroom.
So this bill also says that school boards must approve all sex ed curriculum and allow parents to review what would be taught. Angela?
Scott, we do have a warm late afternoon, early evening. We missed 80 officially in Indianapolis, but still well into the 70s, and we have 76 degrees right now. 79 Muncie, 78 Richmond, 78 Bloomington, and 75 degrees in Columbus. These temperatures up somewhere between 5 and 10 degrees for most of us, up 4 in Bloomington and Columbus, up 5 in Indianapolis, and 9 degrees warmer in Richmond. It'll stay warm this evening. We're in the 70s through 8 o'clock tonight. Overnight temperatures mid-50s, and then highs tomorrow afternoon in the low 80s. Slight chance for a pop-up southeast tomorrow. Rain chances really spike on Friday. I'll have that timeline for you in the full forecast.
Thanks, Angela. Tonight, a troubling trend is raising concerns across Indiana.
Yeah, we've already seen impacts of a prosecutor shortage here in central Indiana. And now, according to the Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council, the state of Indiana is facing a 40% shortage of deputy prosecutors. And they say the problem just keeps getting worse.
A Howard County judge just dismissed a murder charge against a man, all because he says the county just doesn't have enough prosecutors to meet the caseload there. The
IPAC estimates it needs about 1,100 deputy prosecutors across Indiana. Right now, they have only 660. Well, nearly 3 years after a shooting inside the Greenwood Park Mall, Simon Property Group tonight is trying to drop a lawsuit against them.
A family claims that Simon's negligence is what led to a shooter killing 3 people on that day. Samantha Johnson went to those oral arguments today downtown at the Indiana Court of Appeals.
Wednesday's hearing lasted about 45 minutes inside the Court of Appeals, both sides arguing to 3 judges what they believe should come next in this lawsuit. The Stewart family girls were at the mall the day of the shooting. Kaya was shot multiple times and survived. The family attorney alleges Simon Property Group and its security company should have known the risk of active shooters and had better security. An attorney for Simon on Wednesday standing up for its security team.
They are there to observe, and if something is awry, then report. And that's essentially the function of a security officer at a mall. These are not folks who can intervene in an armed event and do anything about it to stop it.
We sat down with the attorney who helped file the lawsuit. He says everyone involved deserves more answers about how that shooting happened on July 16th, 2022.
Exactly, and that was the long and the short of it. We're not saying we for sure have a case. We may very well have a case, but we are saying that we have the right to find out if we have a case.
So no decision was made Wednesday. A court spokesperson told us we could expect an opinion sometime in the next couple of months. We'll be sure to keep you updated. At the State House, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
A new program designed to improve relationships between first responders and the community is now coming here to Marion County.
So the goal here is to ease stress for people with disabilities or conditions that may require some additional accommodations. The Blue Envelope program will allow people to carry blue envelopes.
And they're going to hold important documents in them that make any potential interactions with law enforcement hopefully less stressful. It's going to explain the situation. It's also designed to guide first responders with best practices to help reduce anxiety and de-escalate situations. We're happy to tell you that a major investment now could be on the way for veterans who are here in Indianapolis.
As Senator Jim Banks toured the Rowdebush VA Medical Center today and shared some details about this proposed project. So he's saying that a $2 billion replacement hospital is now in the works tonight, with a feasibility study reportedly ahead of schedule. All of this comes as the Department of Veteran Affairs faces warnings that up to 80,000 jobs could be cut nationwide.
Now, Banks insists that that's not going to impact the care here in Indianapolis, citing only 20 early retirements at Rowdebush so far.
I expect the VA to be more efficient, to more directly care for our veterans in the years to come because of the important work that we're doing, to modernize the VA, to replace outdated facilities like this facility that will only ensure that our veterans get better care and the care that they deserve.
Banks also praising the administration for cutting what he calls wasteful bureaucracy, including DEI programs at the VA, moves he says that save millions of dollars for veterans.
Still to come tonight, a new report details the state of air quality around the country,
where Indy ranks among the rest of the country.
Plus, big plans now underway tonight to improve Purdue's business school.
Why a former university president says it's going to give students a big leg up when it comes to landing a job. Angela.
Anne-Marie, rain and storm chances increasing later this week. I'll have the local timeline in your forecast.